Well, today we wanted to discuss with you guys, we get a question a lot, and it's not just with our VA buyers, but with all of our buyers, more so our first-time buyers, but what are closing costs? Why do I have to pay closing costs? If you're offering 100% financing loan product, why am I paying a closing cost? What does it cover? So Shelly and I kind of want to go over that a little bit with you today, and then next week we're going to tell you the difference between a HUD statement and a good faith estimate. But today kind of correlates to that. So closing costs.
Yeah, I mean, closing costs can vary. I mean, obviously, the price of your house is the major factor, or one of the big factors, I guess. Your lender's fees, the title company that you're using, the type of survey that you get. I mean, there's just so many inspections you get. Yeah, there's so many things that go into that closing cost and what you're having to pay for, but every loan has it. And like I said, like Holly just said, we have buyers. Oh no, I'm VA. It's 100%. You're right. Your loan is, but not your closing costs. There's always going to be closing costs. Now, there is definitely ways around you not having to pay out of your pocket, like directly. Not everybody has. What an average is about $4,500 typically in our homes,
unless you're putting down. Unless you've got a down payment.
Yeah. So just the closing costs, not counting down payment. But there's ways that we can help with getting that closing cost either
lowered, soften the blow, so to speak.
Yeah, exactly.
But the cool thing about closing costs, well, there's nothing cool about closing costs. Closing costs stink. Nobody wants to pay them.
Somebody else is paying.
Right. But what they do is it is prorated taxes, interest, and insurance. So it's your escrows. It's prepaid. Mm-hmm. So let's say your closings today, September 9th. When you pay your closing costs, what you're paying are prorated taxes, interest, and fees throughout the balance of the calendar year. So basically what that's covering is all of those fees. You're prepaying your taxes, you're prepaying your insurance, and you're prepaying a little bit of that interest for your first two payments. And basically what that does is every time you make a payment thereafter, you are putting it in the cookie jar, so to speak, for next year, because taxes are due at the first of every year. Yeah. And depending on the time of year, sometimes your closing costs are a little bit more, because if you're closing in December, you're going to pay all of next year's calendar year in addition to your December fees, because otherwise they're going to run out of them before you even get your first statement. So closing costs are not something that the seller gets, and a lot of people are like, hey, why do I have to have closing costs? Well, we have our own closing costs too. It costs us to do clean title searching and all those other things. So titling the house to you, recording the house to you, all your lender's fees, all of those are tied into your closing costs. And like Shelly said, they vary. Mm-hmm. We are blessed to have some amazing lenders that we use on a daily basis that are preferred, that will also soften that blow by giving some discounts and incentives off of their specific fees. Mm-hmm. Now, with that being said, those fees won't take care of any of your prepaid escrows.
Right.
So they can't touch those. Those are the buyer's responsibility. But again, if you come in, sit down and discuss your situation, Shelly and I can kind of work out a game plan that will help you have the most money in your pocket when you close and the least out of pocket.
Absolutely. That's very well said, Holly.
Thank you.
You gotta sit back here and listen.
I'm sorry. Once I get to talking, you know me and numbers. I'm a numbers nerd.
Let's sit back here.
I know. She's like, I'm just here to look pretty. No, but closing costs, nobody likes them. They don't. We don't like to pay them either, but unfortunately, there has to be a paper transaction copy, and it has to be recorded, and it protects both the buyer and the seller. So,
and Holly and I, we really watch out for our buyers. I actually have a story of a lady that I spoke to on the phone a couple weeks ago, and she's like, "Oh, I've already, gotten approved with the lender, and blah blah blah." And she, went to proceed to tell me that she was getting a VA loan, and I'm like, "That's great." And she's like, "Yeah, but I'm a little concerned. The closing cost seems a little high to me." And I'm like, "Okay, well, what did they quote you?" And it was like $9,800. I'm like, oh, hang on. Okay.
Red flag.
Yeah, I'm like, you really need to talk to one of our lenders. And the lady says to me, oh, she spent so much time with me. She spent like 30 minutes on the phone. And I'm like, who cares? Like, that's like double. Like, you can't, no. So she ended up actually talking to one of our lenders, and she was like, oh, wow.
Right.
She's like, I can't believe that I was going to pay that. Mm-hmm. Like,
it's always good to shop around. I mean, every lender is going to do their best to get you the best numbers that they can. but it's business, you know. So when my buyers come in and they're like, well, yeah, we'll go ahead and call your preferred lender, but we already have a lender that we're using, does not break our heart, because at the end of the day, they're either going to meet it, beat it, or they're not going to be able to touch it.
There you go.
And you're going to have the best deal. So shop around for that lender. Make sure you're getting the best deal. Again, I know this kind of preempts into what we're talking about next week, but they're going to give you a good faith estimate. Once they pull all your numbers for your closing costs, you're going to get a good faith estimate of what they think your costs are going to be at closing. And people call us having a stroke. Oh my goodness, this number is obnoxious. I thought you said it was going to be $40,000. Come in, sit down with us, let us walk you through that GFE, and we will explain to you what each and every fee is associated with and what it entails.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of times they'll have like your prepaids in there and your seller costs and things like that, and it's just a more detailed breakdown. So don't get discouraged and think, oh gosh, I just got pre-approved, but there's no way I can come up with closing costs, because a lot of times those fees are not even a factor.